Hi, everyone. I'm at the opposite side of the screen. I don't know what's going on there. I'm at the opposite side of the screen. In fairness, Paddy's driving the boat today. After that, but yeah, look, listen, I don't know why I'm smiling. I don't know how I'm smiling. I don't even know where my fucking camera is. To be honest with you, we were only testing a plug-in, and then we saw a load of people messaging and we saw a lot of people messaging us and on a YouTube link. I was there, shit, are we live testing this plugin? And then Paddy was like, no, we're not live at all. So whenever it was messaging us, we said we might as well jump on. But
exactly,
look, we might as well rip off the band-aid.
And in fairness, after an amateur performance, you may as well let an amateur take over. Isn't that the way it is?
That's, well, I'm not a professional. Whoever said I was a... Have you seen me do this stream before, Paddy? Have you seen me do this stream before? I'm just going to try and bring me over here. No, that's better. That's better. That's better. Lads, we're not going to stay too long here because I don't think anybody really wants to dissect this too much.
I think that's sums up where we're going to go tonight. Where do we start tonight?
Yeah.
Where do we start and where do we finish?
Where do we start? Where do we finish as well? Yeah. I think there's multiple areas of blame here. Myself, I think there's multiple areas of blame. I think literally from the first 60 seconds, you can see that there was something up with players. Like what's Ollie Watkins doing, body slamming your man? What's he doing? Gets a yellow card. Means gets a yellow card. Gets a yellow card afterwards. Then McGinn gets a yellow card all before the 30th minute. Yeah. Leadership group, leadership team didn't show leadership. Something I spoke about beforehand. That's just a small point, but it means a lot. I think it means a lot.
No, but it set the tone for the day. And in fairness, Ollie Watkins was obstructed.
Yeah, and you don't body slam someone to the ground.
He was just showing his frustration, and it was
45 seconds into a game. You have to be better than that as an England international.
No, it does. Absolutely, but it sets the tone for the evening because at the end of the day, they got away with murder.
They did, yeah.
You know, from start to finish, they got all the decisions, and that's nothing. No slight on Arsenal. It's just we let them dictate the game from start to finish, probably of how we set out, and let's face it, it wasn't great for 45 minutes anyway. We at least we tried after half time, but for 45 minutes we were awful.
Yeah. Like we've come on, like I'm going to go back and I'm going to watch it because unless I've gone completely and utterly scatterbrained altogether, we've said in this podcast that we didn't think he played the 3-5-2 at any stage, and a lot of people out there said, like, we got to play 3-5-2, we got to get Ings and Watkins up there, which is fine. This isn't having to go at anyone at that. I remember being in the back of a beer garden when they started the 3-5-2 piece. I was in the back of a beer garden trying to do the team sheet tantrum from there before the Chelsea game, and then kind of tactics picked up and stuff. The 3-5-2, I think, is what I'm still going to sit here and I'm going to say it's not a bad thing that we've played the 3-5-2. Maybe not tonight. It's not about tonight. What I'm going to say here, it's not about tonight. It's about having a plan B. And I've said this last 3 podcasts. We need to have a plan B. Whether you like it or whether you don't like it, you need to have a plan B. And it's that simple. So when Dean Smith goes out with the 3-5-2 today, all right, when he goes out with the 3-5-2 today, he's changed it at half time. We went to 4-2-3-1. The third goal was the worst goal we gave away all day. And it came from us being 4 at the back, incredibly open. Matty Cash was 75 yards up the field, and John McGinn had to break his neck to run back. I'm not criticizing 4-2-3-1. I'm just saying that it has its limitations as well. It's not the catch-all for us with regards to the formation. And we can talk about wingers, we can talk about this, we can talk about that. Our central midfield was dire today. And that's where we got beat. Formationally, it wouldn't have changed anything anyway, look, it's hindsight is 2020, but I think that we saw the one positive we saw from tonight was Leon Bailey came on and those feet move very, 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 very quickly. They move really quickly. That and Jacob Ramsey absolutely taking the paint off both the crossbar and the post to get that ball in there. Yeah. What a goal. Yeah. But after that, there was nothing.
After that, there's no positives. There's no positives from our starting selection. In fairness, changed at halftime. We went for it. Okay with that. But from my point of view, the penalty changed the game. How you can give a penalty when a guy jumps in front of a guy who's swiping at a ball and give a penalty. Plus, I don't care what Kelly Dalglish says. The whistle should have been gone a minute and a half earlier, and he didn't blow it because the gobshites in Stockley Park were still looking at this. Yet they still waited. What it was 3 or 4 minutes later for.
Whoa! I got to stop you for a moment. We have an Allardyce sighting in the comments. That's it. That's it. It's the quickest Allardyce sighting we've had. And I'm not having to go at you. Jesus, I'm not having to go at you. I just think it's Sam Allardyce isn't the answer. I'm not having to go. Please don't take offense to that. But he's not the answer.
No,
and I know people,
no matter
people
what
are going to say Smith can't be manager for the next game, and Smith can't be manager for whatever. And we need to bin Smith. We need to get we need to get him out. I don't think that's the answer. I think the answer needs to come from both the players, and I think it also needs to come from Dean Smith. And if we go back and you listen to our and this is just us being honest, like he made mistakes tonight, but we're not going to come up here and say, lads, can someone give me his address? I need to drive around his house and fuck him out of it. What's the point? He's not going to get sacked over the weekend, Dean Smith, and nor do I want him to be. I want him to grow and learn and stay with the club from a stability point of view. And yes, he has. And we did an hour long piece only 2.5 weeks ago about him. And I still think he can grow and he can learn. But I also think that we had a leadership team here that the three of them got booked in the first 30 minutes tonight. That ain't good enough for me. It ain't good enough. I'm sorry, But
in fairness, right, we've gone three games on the bounce without a win. We've been beaten 3 times. When does the question come around? Because we've 2 big games ahead. Not for us as a team. Us as a team are going to be fine and we're going to stay up. But we've got Moneyball owners who are well capable of bankrolling this team. So at what stage do they ask the question? And I'm not having a go here. I think it's very likely in 2 games' time that they have to ask that question. And that's the worrying part of all this. As much as we love Dean Smith and as much as we want him in charge, the reality is 5 losses on the bounce, which could potentially happen. We don't have easy games ahead. Anything can happen. And then they've got to make a decision. But I don't think it is 100% the fault here.
Do you think? And this is not what I wanted to have a discussion about tonight. I've seen and I see some names in the comments. Graham Potter. I think Graham Potter has probably gone to Newcastle, much not as I think as I think much of him as a manager. I think he's very good. I think Graham Potter is going to Newcastle. I actually think keeping managerial stability and growing from what we are is probably even more paramount now, with Newcastle being a shark circling the waters of the Premier League. Well, Paddy, I suppose for me, and I know what you're going to say. You're going to say, "Well, it's not my job to pick the next manager," and I know you're going to say it because I think I've asked this to you before. But if it is your job to pick the new manager, and look, this is always, and look, come here. This is the conversation that's been had on every single. There's probably United podcasts having this exact conversation at the moment. Who would you pick to replace Ole Gunnar Solskjaer? Well, they probably actually want him out more than we want Smith out, but that's a completely different point. But everybody kind of says, who's out there that could do a better job? And I don't even know if that's a fair question anymore to ask that, because it's completely unanswerable. How many times have Chelsea asked themselves that over the course of the last few years, and they've brought in some top end managers who haven't cut it with some brilliant players, and I think, are we going to go like are we looking to catch lightning in a bottle? And I'm not I'm not even verbalizing this correctly, because I'm still actually quite annoyed. You mightn't catch it from the fact that I'm smiling and laughing.
Plus we've gone live by complete
accident.
And there's loads of people asking me to sort my mic out, and I hope my mic is okay because I've just changed it. So hopefully,
oh, cool, yeah.
Hopefully that sorted it out. But you've asked me who the next manager is.
Well,
that's an easy question.
I kind of
it's an easy question. Next manager is Dean Smith. I want Dean Smith to stay.
I want him to stay, but hypothetically, let's just say of everybody, like let's just say the manager saying, "I want to cut." Who like, do like it's fraught with danger to bring in a new manager at the moment. Fraught with danger.
If they pull the plug tomorrow, it's Conté for me. Even if he is going to do the job for 2 years, he'll bring in players that will be on longer contracts in 2 years, and we'll be in a better position in 2 years' time. But I don't think
Antonio Conte. No, and this is asking a real question. And I know you got I know I'm preempting on your answers, and you're probably going to say, "Well, you got to shoot big. You got to shoot for the stars and see what they say. Why not go for him? Do you think he's coming to Aston Villa?
Why not?
Well, why? No, I'm asking you why. That's my question. Was why is he coming to Aston Villa? Your question is why not. You can't answer a question with a question.
No, but he's coming to Aston Villa because he's got money to spend. That there's potential there. That there's a huge setup to rival anything in the world. But for that reason alone, I'm saying the next manager is Dean Smith. Dean Smith is there for the long haul.
Like this. This is
we've got to play devil's advocate at this stage. We've lost last week after having a 2-goal lead. Now we are going to go into a 2-game period where people are going to absolutely lose their shit if we don't win the next 2 games, or if we at least don't pick up favourable results, and that's the problem.
Wait a minute, I'm going to have to call this. Like, Sharik, we're here talking about if Dean Smith goes, and we're actually saying that Dean Smith made mistakes today. And we actually said that Dean Smith made mistakes in the pre-match. We said Dean Smith made mistakes in the team sheet tantrum. So, I'm just saying, like, this, we want to kind of cater for everything. Yeah. I'm not going to just come on here and say Smith out just to make everybody happy. I don't believe Smith should be sacked. I just don't. No. I don't believe it's time to sack him just yet, and I think it's fraught with danger. And thanks a million for your comment. I'm not having a go. No, Jesus, don't think that. Do you know what? I'd actually love to do phoning, and I've actually looked at trying to get it set up, but I've no idea how it's set up, because I'd love to discuss it and not have a go at people and not chat and not like. I just want to discuss it with people because I really want to see what could be better, and maybe I'm too conservative. Maybe I'm not. I don't know. Maybe I'm too sunny side up. I don't know. And it's like I don't know. I genuinely don't know. I can see that he does bad things. I just not sure that, like, if we woke up Monday morning and we had to pick a new manager, that's what this conversation is about. I just don't. I don't know. Do we get top 6 if we pick a new manager? But then again, I don't know if we get top 6 if we keep Dean Smith.
But like, there's nobody else available, only Antonio Conte, that I would pick, and that I answered the question that you asked.
Oh, sorry. Yeah.
And I'm only answering that question. If a guy wants to come in and say that we completely back up Dean Smith, I think he's completely wrong.
I do. No, I suppose, in fairness, I do. I've no problem sitting here and saying, I do at times just say, lads, I'm not having the Smith out thing, because, and I do. I'm not going to sit here and say I don't. I do back Smith to the absolute hilt. Like,
and I'm exactly the same. The point I'm making is, if we were to lose 4 or 5 games in a row, our hierarchy suddenly pull the plug?
That's a good question.
And that is the burning question. For me, it's not the answer to change the manager at this stage, because we're in the middle of a huge process of bringing through a hugely invested underage system, which is obviously we're seeing the fruits of in the last 18 months or so. So why change it now is not my decision, obviously, but it's obviously not my choice, is what I'm saying. But it's definitely something that could happen, and that's why we're discussing it.
Yeah. I'm still Smith in, though. I'm going to continue to
We're both Smith in. We're both Smith in, but we're playing devil's advocate because they could virtually pull the plug very quickly.
Look, this is it. This is 100% it. I didn't even want to talk about the fucking Dean Smith thing here today. I don't know why I brought it up. I have no idea. have no idea why I brought up.
Maybe you didn't. Was it the comment?
I've got 9 different statistics here about Emi Buendia that I wanted to bring up in the podcast today, and now I've gone down the route. And I don't like, and half of what we've just said there makes probably zero sense. We went off because we were having conversations before this live podcast, and we've literally just continued those on in here. So you guys haven't heard 20 minutes of what we spoke about prior to this. So I really do apologize. This feels like myself and Paddy are just kind of arguing with each other with an audience.
That's it. So in case anyone is wondering, Neil is going on a few days holidays. So in case Dean Smith gets sacked, I'm being trained in how to use the system.
Not in case Dean Smith gets sacked. In case I'm not
I'm
back.
only joking, Neil. I'm only joking.
Oh Jesus! Do you know what? If nothing else, this has put me in a bit better form. Having a laugh here has put me a bit better form.
What's the point? What's the point of getting upset over this? Because I've sat there on the couch going, "Is this the worst point we've ever been at?" No, it's not. Is this the worst I felt being a Villa fan? Right. No, it's not. Are we in a worse position than we were 2 years ago when everybody said, "Oh, you're doing a Fulham"? No, we're not. We are fine. We will be fine, regardless of what happens in whatever amount of time they decide to move on Dean Smith or whoever they bring in. We're doing okay. What are we? We're a point per game, are we, at the moment? Or maybe a little bit ahead of that? Yeah. We're fine. So that's not what we come on to discuss.
No. We came on to discuss the game, but we got into an existential crisis discussion there about the future of Aston Villa 20 years down the line, and that wasn't exactly what we wanted to discuss.
Well, in fairness, Neil, we couldn't make a 20-minute podcast last 40 minutes, could we?
No, we've never been known to do that. And once again, I swore blind when we saw people commenting. I said, "Yeah, this is only going to be 10 minutes," and we're 17 minutes in here. But now I'm in the mood, and I want to talk more about it because I'm having, this is actually good, and I won't go to bed in such bad form. But look, I suppose just talking about the game tonight and getting back to it. And look, we're only saying what we saw as well. The 3-5, like Arsenal, absolutely overran us. And what I was saying at the start was this. Yes, the formation was an issue. It was an issue for our 3 midfielders tonight. They couldn't get any foothold in the game whatsoever. I thought that Arsenal just came to rough us up in midfield because we were that much smaller than them. Partey and Lukanga just bullied Buendia, and they bullied Douglas Luiz at times as well. In the game, and when I say bullied, I don't mean that as if obviously the guys were trying. Let's not forget that the guys were trying, and it's not a heart thing, it's not an effort thing. It's just it didn't work, and then we changed it at halftime. We went 4-2-3-1, and I think that was 100% the right decision. We saw Aaron Ramsey come, or Jacob Ramsey, Gordon Ramsay. I nearly called him there for a moment. Come on, actually, Gordon Ramsay would have been a nice man to have in there at halftime in the dressing room. That would have been a good man to have in halftime in the dressing room. But yeah, we brought in the 2 boys, and I thought we played a small bit better. It was interesting that Tuanzebe was the man that made way for Bailey at halftime. And yeah, look, I think it'll be 4-2-3-1 for the next game as well. Does it cure all the nails us?
My call at halftime was that we took off one of the fullbacks for Bailey, and be it Tuanzebe played a right back or Mings played a left back. I didn't know which it was, but probably the right call. Let's call a spade a spade. It needed to be done. It was Tuanzebe. Not that he done a whole lot wrong. Buendia struggled to get into the game. McGinn, very little he could do. Just totally choked in midfield. The 3-5-2 didn't work, or 5-3-2, whatever way you want to call it. It didn't work. I would like to think that's the end of it, because we're going to play teams in the next 2 weeks, next 2 games, that we should have a right pop off, and we've played teams in the last 2 games that we should have had a right good pop off, but we didn't because we were defensive, and that's what's killing me at the moment.
Yeah, and I can't disagree with that. I can't disagree with that. Guys, I suppose one thing that we like, we have 24, 25 players, not including the young kids. And realistically, guys, start if we're getting into messages of start all the young kids, that's not going to cure Wales either. It might be good, might give people a rocket up the arse, but it's not what's going to cure us. I'm sorry, but it's not.
No.
Like we've some very good players. I think there's just so much in this game tonight. There's so much in it. I think genuinely the first 15, 20 minutes didn't suit anyone. The way we reacted to certain things, they went out to take us on the midfield, and we were the ones that
just saying, like, now they have control over the comments on the screen. It's not my fault we went and capitulated at Arsenal.
Yeah, it's not Paddy's fault. It's not Paddy's fault. We can put that one to bed. But it's like there's some wild things out there on Twitter. Far be it for me, I won't be contributing to them anymore. Because as I say, these are still going to be the same players that like we have what we have until January, regardless of who we get in there. I'm disappointed in how we performed in the first 45 minutes. I felt that leadership was very, very sorely lacking, and that needs to change. And there was a comment in the team sheet tantrum beforehand whereby somebody said that McGinn mentioned that a lot of players were still bothered by that 3-1, and we passed it off in the team sheet tantrum. We kind of said, look, they're professionals. That's a good thing and stuff like that, and it is a good thing, and I hope it is a good thing, but maybe people were still too bothered by it for the first 25 minutes, and it turned into a fight. Like, we ended up getting caught for silly things and getting yellow cards. And I know it's the 5th time I've said it in the podcast. That really doesn't sit well with me. The fact that we like it was a matter of time before something happened, and before Possum was going to do something, because we didn't help ourselves in a way against Arsenal.
Look, the long and the short of it is we were beaten fair and square in the first half by a much better team, much better organised. But by God, did Pawson help them right from the fucking 32nd minute when Watkins was obstructed, and throughout the game people got in his ear and made his decision for him, but he neglected to book the player that stamped on Douglas Luiz's party, was it? Stood on his leg. He was way late. We saw Nakamba booked for it last week. It just depends what team you're playing for. I thought Possum was very poor today. I thought he made a really poor decision with the penalty. On a number of reasons. Number one, it wasn't a penalty, and number two, after paying 2.5 minutes over whatever it was over the allotted time, he decided to let the game play on after the penalty was taken. In my opinion, the minute Martinez made the save, the whistle should have blown. It's an absolute disgrace. It wouldn't happen at any other club. I'm disgusted by the whole thing. You look at Man United getting a penalty after 90 minutes. That just shows, the blatant disregard for our club. There's a player there swiping at a ball, which nobody is anywhere near, and a guy jumps across him, puts his leg right across him. The ball is caught first, the leg is caught second, and your man goes down as if he's fucking dead. It's fucking wrong. So wrong. It absolutely drives me bonkers. And I'm finished talking about referees for today. We know where we're at. We got nothing today. The time has come to come out and absolutely annihilate these guys because they're useless. They're only gonna bow down to these guys, as we've seen for so many years, until we get. And somebody mentioned in the comments there, Neil Warnock. We probably need a little bit of Dean Smith to go a little bit Neil Warnock and have a go at these guys, because we're not getting any rub of the green. The Jacob Ramsey one last week, meh. You've seen them not given. Probably made a little bit of contact, but we've seen them not given. But the referee last week, after missing Nakamba late challenge, gave them everything. So, it's time to go full hell for leather on these absolute clowns referees. The Watkins one, it was obstruction. He stopped Watkins competing for the ball. Watkins pushed him out of the way. Nobody on VAR went, sorry there, you got that wrong. Don't be giving out yellow cards like that, because they can't. That's the way our wonderful VAR system is set up.
Yeah.
They can do whatever they like. But anyway, there you go.
Yeah. It was a tough watch tonight. It certainly was a tough watch tonight. Second half was a bit better. The goal was good. I don't think anyone's ever going to take that goal away from Jacob Ramsey. Jacob Ramsey needs to start.
Yeah.
Jacob Ramsey needs to start.
I think so.
That for me is a given. Jacob Ramsey just needs to start.
But I think the burning question is now, if we had started with Buendia on the right, Ramsey through the middle, Bailey on the left. Yes, I think it might have been a different game. Even if Bailey sauntered through the first half, I think it would have hemmed back their full backs. And I alluded to the fact that right full, his name escapes me, for Arsenal, he didn't get over his own half for his first 6 games of the season. And all of a sudden he's taking shots on goal. And you're just like, whoa, what the hell is going on here?
Yeah. I think tonight, just the matchup that we had tonight didn't suit Buendia. Like I said, Buendia isn't up for it tonight, and it was because he was just like there were just hulks inside there, and they were ragdolling him, and that's fine, Yes, and people made some really really good points. Play him out right wing, fine, absolutely. Let's do that. When Buendia was brought in here, you could go back, you could find 200 comments from people that said we'll play him in the number 10 role. And we'll play Bailey left and we'll play Bertrand Traore right. I don't think that it's a situation that he can't play the number 10 role. I just think that Partey and that Nakanga got in our midfield's face today. They're two outmuscled our three. And I think that's probably fair. I think that was a big piece of our downfall tonight. And yes, look, Buendia lost the ball 4 times. He had 48 touches. He had 31 passes. So, like, realistically, 1 in 12 times he actually touched the ball. He lost control of it tonight. Little pieces like that. And that 4 losses of possession were only when the ball was taken off him. They weren't there in passes. Look, I'm not going in on him. And my comment was solely to do with the fact that he just didn't have the physical strength for it tonight. But for £38 million. And yes, he was playing in a central position, and someone made a great point on Twitter, can't receive the ball centrally. Well, then let's see what he can do out in the right wing. Let's see it. Let's see what's going to happen. I think there's going to be a decision to make. I don't think we will have 2 strikers. And that this is exactly it. Danny, I agree with that. I don't think Smith knows his best 11. Do you know why he doesn't know his best 11? Because he hasn't had
to choose from it. Yeah,
hasn't had them all fit, and he hasn't been able to play he wasn't even able to play a fraction of his best 11 during preseason. And I know we're at this stage now where we can't use preseason as an excuse anymore. But preseason, going into injuries, going into 2 international breaks and things like that, COVID obviously within the squad too. There's like, these are just facts. And yes, they're overly positive they're positive towards Dean Smith, but they are factual pieces of information. He doesn't know he's 12, he's 11 because he hasn't had him. And
had to choose him. Yeah, 100%
to choose him. I think there's going to be one up top. I think it's going to be 4-2-3-1 against West Ham next weekend, and I think we'll see Bailey. Like, positive is Bailey didn't get injured. There's a positive for you. Get injured. Yeah, Bertie will be back. We'll have a bit of firepower. We had an El Ghazi sighting tonight. Came on.
Here's one for you, Neil.
Yes.
To lighten the mood.
I know. Spit out Bruce.
Look,
yeah.
It's a bad day at the office. It's a bad day at the office when I have to sit on this side of the screen too. We're here by accident. The 2 of us are pissed off. I think we've said as much as we can with regards to how we feel about the management situation. It is what it is. He made the wrong decision in the first half. We looked better in the second half. We were caught in the break. If it wasn't 2-0 by that cowardly decision for the penalty, would we have been caught in the break? No, I don't think so. Would we have made a decision at halftime after that, other than that cowardly decision? Yes, I think he would, because we were being overrun. I'm forever Dean Smith in, regardless of when he goes. And I mean that 100%. I think he's a great guy. He's one of us. He means well. everything he tries to do is for the better of the club. There's no badness in him whatsoever. He thought that was the best thing to put out tonight. Most of us didn't. That's fine. It's okay to come in and go, there you go. You were wrong, Dean Smith. That's fine. But just pissed off tonight, and what more can you do?
Yeah. Smith Rowe, we should have gone in hard for him. I actually believe we couldn't have gone in any harder for him, and he made a decision.
I don't think so either. I think we did what we could.
Yeah, we do. Like, only short of drugging him and forcing him to sign.
Yeah, and it was probably agent speak at the end of the day. The agent probably fabricated it, and the little giggle that Dean Smith gave in his press conference about Smith Rowe probably alluded to that. It was probably the agent spinning the story. It was probably never even going to be even spoken about. Yeah.
There is one last burning question that I have, and I feel everybody needs an answer, but we're not going to be able to answer it. Welsh Woody, did you win your darts match? That is the big I need an answer. We're not finishing this podcast until we get an answer, and I hope you did, because I'll play you in a game of virtual darts someday if you wish. I'd love to. I need to know if you won your darts match. I really, really do. Vivish, thank you so much. Really appreciate it, even in these dark times. Thank you so much. Thanks,
Vivish. It's Friday night. Thank you very much, and cheers.
And we do need that Bailey confidence. Yeah, I wish I could drink a bottle of Bailey's now for some confidence. That's exactly what I wish I could do at the moment. But look, I suppose just to sum it all up, there's lots of blame to go around for tonight. I think players need to take a good portion of tonight as well. I think the 5-2 or the 3-5-2 piece, from a fan point of view, I think fans would be happy with what goes out the next day. I think Dean Smith won't play that. I think there's tons of learnings from tonight. I think a lot of people will, I wouldn't be surprised if there's players meetings amongst themselves, to discuss what happened tonight and stuff, because I don't think anybody can turn around to anybody within that dressing room and go, well, it wasn't my fault. Because there was a leadership void and the field today. And look, it's going to be different. There's going to be other games who are going to be cocks of the walk. Like, we're going to go out and we're going to play brilliant as well, and Smith's going to get it right too. But I'm actually glad that we came out. I'm glad for myself that we came out and talked about this, because I would have been tossing and turning in bed. It's 11:30 at night here, and
we've had a bit of therapy, Neil.
A bit of therapy, because I can't. I can't drown my sorrows at the moment, so that's why this has been good for me. I can't take a drink at the moment.
Well, don't worry, Neil. I'll drown your sorrows for you. I think the most important thing is now that we aim for next Sunday, and it's Halloween, and we need to scare the opposition as opposed to having a fucking nightmare ourselves. And that's where we're at. At the end of the day, it's just, the same old Villa. They give us good days, they give us bad days. They beat Man United, they go missing for 3 games afterwards. What do? We just got to accept it. We're part of the pride. We get stuck in. We cheer our team on, and we have pissed off nights like this. But that's life.
Another one. Thanks very much for Vish once again. But it says, my first year as Villa fan, I was crushed. Bailey for me changed the game. Through 3 players at a time others needed to run off the ball and capitalize. Absolutely. And the sad thing about it is that when he got running there was gaps in between the 2 defenders, and we had no striker running in diagonals. Like I said before the game, the goals I love are those balls down the side of defenders, and it's very difficult to do that with a 3 at the back, but when there's 4 at the back you can do it. And I think the Bailey's pace got people turned, and we had abilities to do that. Not from him, it wasn't his fault or anything like that. We just had no diagonal runs.
No. And unfortunately he can't do it all on his own either. You can't expect a guy to come in, albeit an amazing player that we haven't seen too much of. We need to see him come in and have other players complement the likes of Bertrand Traore with his unpredictability on the other wing. Just something different to come in. We had Ollie Watkins. It didn't really work out. it's a bitter pill to swallow tonight. But you know what? We'll swallow it and we'll drive on to the next one, Neil. I think that's the only way forward.
Absolutely. Everyone, thanks a million for this. Thanks a million for watching our therapy session between the two of us. Thanks a million for getting involved. This is completely off the cuff and spur of the moment, but look, is what it is. Can't go back in time and change the result now. As I say, we got it as we see it, and I think there's going to be. I think neither management nor players will be able to stand up in a room tomorrow and say this, and we don't have learnings to take from this game, and we don't have things that we need to change from this game, and it's just about how we implement them now as well.
Think that's going to do it, Neil, is it?
It's going to do it. Yeah, Paddy, since you're driving the bus, I'm going to let you sign us off.
Yeah, I think all that's left to say is up the Villa.
Up the Villa always, regardless of the result, up the Villa.